officially welcome you to episode 22 of Questions You May Be Too Shy to Ask Your Trainers. And we will straight away dive into our first segment, which is going to change right up here in Discovery of the Week. This segment is something that Noel and I discover or rediscover for the past 7 days. So Noel, I'm going to pass the rediscovery week to you first. And I love what Noel has for us.
That's right. So here's the thing, as in I'm big on supporting local businesses. And today my friend Annabelle, by the way, it is not a sponsored post. Okay. So Annabelle, if you're watching this, I'm always open to suggestions. They send me some food, right? They send me some tea. They send me, so today I'm going to show this to you. It's Meatless Monday. If you're watching from Malaysia, my friend Annabelle, who runs this chain of cafes called Goodness Greens, La Juiceria, Superfoods, they have a deal called Meatless Monday, where everything is 20% off if you order from their menu. But what I really wanted to show y'all was this, right? Look a little closer. So to my Facebook friends, you see that? You see that little burger there? To my Instagram friends, see that burger? Meatless Monday is in like, what? There's no meat. Why are you having a burger? So here's the thing. So they sent me a burger today. I have no photo because we ate it, okay? Before I could take a photo. But La Juiceria has a burger which is made out of plants. So it's plant-based. And to be honest, we've all heard of the Impossible Burger, the Beyond Meat, and all of that. But how many of us have actually tried it? I haven't, right? So today I tried it because they sent it to me. And I want you to know that I could eat it again and not miss having a meat-filled burger, and it's this. I was blown away. They sent us one burger, and I cut it in half, and I gave Kim half, and I gave half to me. And there's no cheese. It literally is plant-based. So they have a truffle sauce and all of this, but it was really, really amazing. And I'm sharing this because I'm the guy who will tell you all that no need lah, this vegan thing is all no need and it's fine, and all this plant-based stuff. But I bring this up just because of taste, because often we feel that healthy means we have to sacrifice taste. That's really it, right? Now, is the meatless burger the healthiest thing? I think it's good because I was expecting the box to open. It also is a collaboration with My Burger Lab. So when I opened it, I thought it's going to be fries. Habis lah. It's going to be a healthy burger, but it's going to be fries. I opened it. There was a burger, plant-based patty with a salad on the side. Oh gosh, I just wish I took a photo of it. I didn't. Sorry, Annabelle. Sorry, La Juiceria. Kim and I devoured it before I took a photo. But that's really it. So if you're someone watching this right now and you're thinking that this whole plant-based thing, and you just want to give it a shot, right? I just invite you to do it. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to go plant-based. I'm not going plant-based, okay? But I invite you to explore options, because this new option of having a burger that's not beef, that's not chicken, that's just plant-based is very interesting. And if you have a goal of not eating too much meat, or if you want to cut down or just kind of change your diet, then I invite you to try it. So high five to La Juiceria for sending me that, because I would never buy it on my own. So disclaimer here, they send me that burger for free. And this is what I told them. I said that the cows will be jealous. Cows are going to be jealous, which is true. So, and I know I'm talking a lot about La Juiceria, but the message that I want to convey across is just that just because something is healthy, it doesn't mean it's going to taste bad. Healthy can also taste good. It really depends how you prepare it, how you season it, how you put it together. So whatever diet you are on, whether it's keto, whether it's low carb, whether it's just eating balanced meals, just think about taste. Healthy doesn't mean not tasty. And that's really my message. Again, I don't have a photo other than this whole meatless Monday thingy. Every Monday it's 20% off kind of a thing, and they're giving you some extra free stuff and all of that. Oh, and remember, Alvin, last week we talked about handwritten notes.
Yes, and I saw.
So Annabelle, the owner of the restaurant, sent me a handwritten note. And here's the thing: even if I didn't like the burger, the fact that she sent me this note, I'm gonna eat it. Right? So here's a reminder to all of you watching this. If you have a friend or a client or anyone that you just lost touch with, just send them a handwritten note, because you just never know how you are gonna make their day. So that's it. That's my little sharing with Discovery of the Week. I also have a little more to share in another segment later, but that's from me. Sorry, I took a lot of time. So over to you, Alvin.
I love it. I love it. A
burger. And like I said, I'm always talking about food, right? Every week, Noel talking about food. Absolutely, I'm the food guy.
So this is where they come in for review. Actually, yeah, we might need to change the name of the Facebook Live after 30 episode.
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to take over by sharing my discovery of the week. Is not something, but someone. And this amazing human being is called Sangetha. And Sangetha is actually one of our Daily Muscles heroes. And she started following me back a few weeks back.
Oh,
and I followed her back on Instagram. And what moves me is I saw her IG story on Sunday, and she posted that she did a morning workout, and then evening she did a little smaller section of arm movements, arm circuit training. And then at night, she went and have dinner and eat cake and drink. I'm not sure, is it drink wine or drink a calorie beverage, but she had cake and dessert. And she showed that, and she showed picture of how she was so happy. And that just moved me. I'm like, wow, Sangetha is doing things right. Sangetha is living the life. Because oftentimes when we think of fitness, when we think of healthy, we always look at the exercise, the eating the healthier version of food. And we often don't really find or struggle to find the balance between fitness and life. So when I see posts like what Sangetha is doing, and then I scroll back to her Instagram, I stalk you a little bit, Sangetha, I can see a lot of this. So I just want to shout out Sangetha, because she is what fitness is all about. A mom balancing between health and fitness, which is her fitness goal, and at the same time, she have her friends, her family. And why I say she's an amazing human being, if you know Sangetha, give her a thumbs up, is because recently, I said recently because I just followed her. I see her do a lot of giving back to society. I see her collect orders, take food, and then drive around and pass. I was just like, wow, Sangetha, you are my discovery of the week. You deserve a shout out from me, because I really, really admire you. Yeah. You know Sangetha, right, Noel?
Yeah. Actually, Sangetha and I are childhood friends. I used to go to her house when I was a little kid and for her birthday party. And she's a client. She joined our gym. She's been extremely supportive. But Sangetha, if you scroll back on my Instagram, you would see her before and after. Complete 180 degrees change. She was obese, someone who had no time to train, no time to work out. And today she is, I'm jealous.
Killing it.
I'm killing it. Setting an example for others, making time to train, and can go on and on. But she's just really been amazing. And that's really it, right? She's one of the many success stories that we've had. But I don't take credit for it. It's really, I think people need to find the reason why. And I think Sangetha is a mom, and having hit rock bottom at one point of their life, right? So a lot of people need to hit rock bottom, and then you realize that it's not worth it and I'm going to change, right? So she had a turning point, and her turning point was just realizing that she had her kids and other people that she needed to be responsible for. And I know this because she's my client. I've trained with Sangetha's been with us for many years, like at least 5 to 6 years for now. And I know her as a friend. And that's really it. So I'm glad that you found her on social media, which is great. And I always tell all my clients, like, whatever you do, always share it, right? Sometimes you see people do their workouts and then they share their workouts, right? You may think that, yeah, why are you so action want to share their workouts? No, it's not action. You're sharing your workout. You're inspiring someone. You're sending a message across. And Sangeeta has always done that. The amount of people who have changed their lives because of what she posts is, there are people who have done that, right? So she's one of those. She's a change maker. She is a true on influencer, although no brands pay her to do anything. But yeah, she's a mom and she makes the time to juggle work and her children and cooking her meals and all of that. So what an interesting thing. Your discovery of the week was one of my clients. And I'm glad you discovered her, because the same way you discovered her, Alvin, is the same way that other people will discover her. And she's doing that on purpose. She's spreading her message across because she wants people to know that it's doable. That's really it. Yeah. Right. Wow.
So I'm going to post her Instagram link on Facebook, and then everyone, we can go and follow and see what Sangeeta is up to. Without further ado, I invite you all to our next segment, which is Q&A. Now, before we dive into questions, we invite you to post your questions in the comment below. If you're watching on Instagram, you can post it on the little question mark box, and Noel will be able to pin them up.
Yeah.
So questions coming in, and I'm going to go straight to our first question, which is from...
The first question, actually, Alvin, I want to take something on Instagram that I see first.
Sure, Noel.
That was asked by Design S. Again, Design S, what is your name? You're not saying what it is. It's a great question. Design S is saying, I wanted to ask, what are your views about the keto diet? Do you have clients that have tried the diet? So I'm going to give Alvin a few seconds to type it out, because he's typing it out.
Got it. It's up.
To post, great. So that I repeat to everyone on Facebook and Instagram, what are my views about the keto diet? So here's the thing. I think every diet works. Keto, intermittent fasting, plant-based, meatless Mondays, they all work. The end goal is to find something that works for you. For example, I know people whose lives have been changed and transformed because they went vegan and they cut out meat completely and they love it so much. And that's them. The lives have been changed, transformed. They love it. They wake up every day like it's a party every day, and that's them. But if you told me to go vegan and cut out meat completely, I'm not going to wake up every day being happy. I'm going to be mad and pissed off. But that's me. So the goal is to find something that works for you. And I have clients who have done keto. I have clients who have done everything. The thing about keto is that keto's promise is that you can eat all the fat and all the keto, and there's a lot of keto treats, keto ice cream, keto this, keto cheesecake, keto whatever. So it sounds very appealing. There's no vegan ice cream. There's no vegan cheese. Well, there is, but you get what I mean. So keto sounds very appealing because it's all these options. But at the end of the day, it boils down to, can you sustain it? Right? And just because something is keto compliant doesn't mean it's healthy, right? A piece of keto cheesecake and a piece of normal cheesecake, don't be surprised that the keto cheesecake has more calories than the regular cheesecake. And if fat loss is your goal and you're trying to follow the keto lifestyle, you may actually not hit your goal because you may be overeating your calories. So does keto work? Yes. Does intermittent fasting work? Yes. Does caloric deficit work? Yes. Does plant-based eating work? Yes. They all work. It's just, what can you sustain? Because realistically speaking, we have families, we have friends, we have spouses. I'm keto, my wife is not keto, my children want to eat this. Think about realistically, what can you really sustain? Because the diet that works for you will be the one that you can sustain long term. You want to try keto out for a month? Go ahead, do it. Please try everything. Because that you don't try, you never know, right? But that's my suggestion for you. Keto works, and so does every other diet. And if fat loss is your goal, it doesn't matter what diet you are on, because as long as you are on a caloric deficit, that means you eat less than what you are expending and you're burning, you're going to see results. Keto is not a requirement. Keto is trendy. Keto is very fancy right now. It's like it's cool to be keto. It's that, and there's so many options. But most people that I know who claim to be keto actually are not keto, because they eat the keto dessert, they eat the keto cake, they eat the keto ice cream, and then they have nasi lemak for breakfast. It doesn't work that way. Please, if you want to do keto, please check out how does the keto diet work, because you have to literally go very, very, very almost no carbs for a certain period of time for your body to get into ketosis. That's why they call it the keto diet. And if you're having your little treats and carbs and here and there, your body will never go into ketosis, and then you cannot say that you're in a keto diet. What you're really doing is still just caloric deficit with having keto treats. Yeah. So I hope that helps you design as. That's a great question, really, because it's not the first time someone has asked this question.
I want to add on to that, Noel.
Yes, go ahead, Alvin, please.
Speaking of keto diet, where the diet is high in fat and low in carbs, and I'll just like to add that when it comes to training, our goal is progressive overload, where we want to be able to lift more or lift heavier than what we did before. So when we are on a low carbs diet, the downside is that our body preferred choice of fuel or energy is actually carbohydrates. So going on long-term keto diet, which is low carbs, it's going to hinder you from achieving progressive overload. So if you have a performance goal, if you're an athlete, if you are near competitions, this is not an effective diet for you. And one of the best diet, I'm going to have to validate Noel's point, is something that you can sustain. That is in terms of nutrition. Also, please consider your training goals. Your training goals would need to match with your nutrition goals to create the most effective and sustainable. When you can match that too, then only you can see success in both diet and training. Because oftentimes when it comes to fat loss, we focus solely on nutrition, the keto diet, the vegan diet, and we forget about, am I getting stronger? Am I lifting more weights, doing more? Am I be able to do a full body push-up? You want all of those, because those are the ones going to improve your strength, add lean muscles, boost your BMR, and so much more. So do consider all of that factor when you are choosing keto diet or any sorts of diet. Great.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna move to question number 2, which is from Juanita. Juanita asks, can working out such as cardio or strength training affect our hormone, especially women, that may hinder the results? You want to take this, Noel?
Yeah. So Juanita, let me just first give you a bit of disclaimer that I may not be the best person to ask this question. But here is what I can say. I can say that strength training, working out, moving more, using your body can only be beneficial to you. It's never a bad idea. It's never a bad thing. And I totally get it from where you're asking this question, because you're wondering that I have all these hormonal issues and should I work out or not? Like, yes, it's always yes. It's always a yes. Whatever issue everyone is going through, you're depressed. What's the answer? Go out and move. Yes. I learned this from Alvin, who told me, I don't know what episode, movement creates emotion. You move, you feel good. So the answer is always yes. You can't go wrong by getting a workout in. Now, what kind of workouts? That depends. Doesn't mean, should you go to CrossFit? Well, maybe not, because you've never worked out before. May not be the best option for you. But the answer is to move more. So specifically, I do not know what is the hormonal issue that you're facing. But I want you to know that whatever issue, whatever it is that you're working on, and you're concerned about the hormonal impact, I want to say that training and moving more and exercising, to the best of my knowledge, would never negatively impact that. If anything, it's going to do you some good. And if you have a specific issue and something is bugging you, and maybe you need hormone replacement therapy because of something that's different for you, then that one you need to go and seek help from a medical professional, because they'll be able to help you most. But yes, the answer is that number one is, if there's a workout happening, it's never a bad idea. Just go and get it done. What's a bad idea would be to not do anything, to sit down and not move and just be sedentary and to be reckless with our diet. That's the worst thing that we can do, regardless of whatever. So eat right, get your protein in, get your vegetables in, drink enough water, sleep enough. It's just so generic that we all know this. The problem is we don't do it, right? So that's my advice to you, Vanita. You're here as well. You're here. Great, because you asked the question earlier and you are here. So thank you for being here. So my answer to you would be to just move. It cannot possibly bring a bad effect to your hormones because you're working out. Okay, great. I hope that helps you, Vanita. You want to add anything to that, Alvin?
Oh, I'm going to put a full stop there because I think you explained well. So yes, any movements is better than none. Huh?
Exactly.
So the next question is how to prevent shin splint from runners. Shin splint. So shin splint, I'm going to have this, Noel. So shin splint is basically in front of your shin, which is your tibialis bone. You experience some pain. This usually happens if you are just starting to run, or you are a runner that has been running too often without proper recovery. So you start feeling a lot of pain in front of your shin. And this could be mainly because of posture. What happens is that when our ankle or knee tends to collapse in, so our feet should be flat. When our ankles falls in, this is called overpronation of our ankle and knee. That would cause excessive use of those muscles, would then lead you to overuse them. So a few things you can actually do if you experience like pain or tenderness when you fast walk or you run is, number one is to actually stretch. The muscles you want to stretch are your calf. You want to do some ankle mobility work that would really help reduce them. And number two is strength training. Oftentimes runner focus solely on running. If you want to run a marathon or if you want to run faster, one of the most effective things is actually to lift weights. Because when you lift weights, particularly strength training, you are strengthening your muscles. When your muscles are strong, enables you to run longer and run faster. So running more is not the solution. And you see a lot of athletes or professional marathon or runners actually spend half of their training session in the weight room where they're strengthening their muscles. So to all runners out there, you want to involve strength training. And the third one is actually to look at your running technique. So oftentimes when the ideal running technique would be when we land, we want to land mid-foot. So in the middle of our foot. So if you're landing on toes or you're landing on heels, which is very loud, you want to adjust the technique, because landing on toes or heels is going to place excessive tension around your knees and your shin. So that's not something you want when you're running 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers. So I hope that is helpful. You want strength training, stretching, which is your calf, strength training, and looking at your running technique. Anything you'd like to add on, Noel?
No.
Great.
Full stop. I love what they said. I'm going to put a full stop here. Great. Full stop. You answered it.
Yeah.
You answered it great.
So we are going to move to our next segment. Before we move to that, I invite you to continue to post your question in the comment below, and we're going to dive back into question and answer in a bit. So our next segment on Facebook, you can see right above, it changed to show and tell. This segment is something where Noel and I show you something and we share a little bit of story about it.
Yeah, Noel always shows you food. That's the problem.
That's what we want right now at about 9:30 after dinner, leading up to it. So Noel, what would be your show and tell today. Let's
Oh, am I going first? Okay, sure.
go ahead,
Here's
Noel.
here's my show and tell. So if you watched my episode last week, you know how I was telling everyone that I'm trying to, nothing wrong with coffee, but I'm doing a little self experiment where I'm cutting down on coffee. So I've been looking at alternative sources, because if you cut something, you have to replace it with something. So I cut my coffee. I haven't drank coffee for 8 days, which is like it's life changing, right? But I'll post the results of my self experiment one day soon. So as a result of this process, I've been trying to drink more tea, and I found this tea which I've actually heard about a long time ago, but I rediscovered it, right? So because the normal tea bag in a cup of tea is boring, so I rediscovered this chai tea lah. Chai tea means, we Indians, right? Spices and tea and all of that. So this is it, because I don't know how to make a cup of spice tea. I don't know what goes in. So I bought this readily available. You can find it if you look on Lazada. If you really want to find where I bought this from, I bought it from a supplier that sells it and supplies it to restaurants. It's not the cheapest thing in the world. It cost me, I think, about 60 ringgit, and it can make 12 cups. 12 cups, okay? You got to weigh about 20 grams. But it's pre-mixed, so you have the tea leaf, you have the spices, you have all the spice, the cardamom, the star anise, all those things which I don't know how to assemble together. And I bought this because, number one, I can't drink my coffee anymore, and I wanted some enjoyment. Enjoyment as in, like, look, I can't brew my coffee, I can't drip pour, I can't filter coffee, I can't put a capsule in my machine. It's so boring, right? So I looked for something unique. By the way, this smells amazing. If you are a fan of chai tea, it really is amazing. And this is also, and again, I'm learning, right? So when I bought this, I learned that there's something called sticky tea. Sticky, as in like sticky tea. That means it's when you buy this packet, the tea is actually, it's wet. It's not dry tea leaves. It's actually wet. It's moist. So, and they mix it with honey, and there's a process behind it. And I'm enjoying the story. And it's actually made in Australia. It's not made in India. India doesn't send out something. It's made in Australia. And it's fancy tea. Some of y'all may be thinking like, "Ayo, why can't you just drink a box of Lipton tea or what?" You can. But again, I'm just trying to recreate the experience. And from what I know, Prana Chai also has a turmeric blend, which again, turmeric is anti-inflammatory and all those health benefits. But this is my little discovery or rediscovery, or my little show and tell of what I've been doing different this week. And it keeps me sane, okay? Because not a day goes by where I'm like, I want a cup of coffee right now. And if you didn't already know, tea also has caffeine. Not as much as coffee. Tea has caffeine. Also, this is a process, by the way. It's a bit adventure to make it. My coffee takes 30 seconds to make. This thing takes 10 minutes because I got to weigh it, because I'm trying to be accurate, and I make it with a milk or almond milk or a plant-based milk. Then you got to boil it slowly because it says to boil slowly. And then it heats up, and it's a big adventure. One day I'll post it, Alvin, and you'll be like, "Oh my gosh." But here's the thing, it tastes great. But it's so good that I've realized that I cannot be drinking this every day, and I'm going to save it as a weekend treat, because it's, first of all, like $60, $70, right? So I'm not gonna drink this every day. So it's gonna be a treat for me. On other days, I'm drinking my other teas. So this one takes some time. So once a week, I'm going to make this. I'll make a cup for myself. I'll make a cup for my wife, and we will enjoy this. That's my little show and tell. I will post the link below where I bought this from. And just a heads up, it's not cheap, but it's interesting and it's different. And if you know me, I'm a sucker for trying anything that's new. You tell me something new, I'll buy it. So that's it. Maybe I'll send one to you, Alvin, because I heard Alvin also stopped drinking coffee. How about that? So he hasn't told me yet, right? So Alvin stopped drinking coffee. So Alvin, I'm gonna buy you a packet. So can you just text me your address after this? I'm gonna send one of these to you. Okay, so I'll hook you up.
All right.
So,
Awesome. I think when you mention of tea, it reminds me of masala tea, and my late grandmother used to make that. And I think all Indian family or household would know what's a masala tea is. Every evening, a masala tea. It's very, very common, and it's exactly what Noel shared with all the herbs and spices. Actually, very, very fragrant. Yeah, and the spiciness in the tea. Oh, reminds me of that.
yeah.
All right.
So actually, Alvin, this is masala tea, but when the white man sells it, they're gonna call it something fancy. It's actually
I
masala
see.
tea, right?
Awesome.
And this is a shout out to a local business here, Flour. If you go on Instagram and look for Flour, Flour, Flour Restaurant is better than this. They does the most best masala chai ever. It's about 8 ringgit per cup. They do deliveries right now, but it's Kim and I's most favorite masala chai. Again, I'm gonna post the link here. If they're watching this, I don't know, but yeah, absolutely. So this is Indian. The white man hijacked it and made it their own thing. Okay, moving on.
So my show and tell would be this. This is a finger resistant band. So what it does is that you put all 5 fingers in. It's actually to strengthen your finger. So our fingers have a lot of muscles too. So you put all of them in like this, and then you just spread all 5 fingers open. Some call this finger stretcher or spreader. You spread open. What this does, it works your fingers extensor. And most of us have very weak or underworked fingers extensors because we spend our time flexing our fingers with our mouse. So with that, it's actually reversing the movements like this. So you're going to work your fingers extensor. At the same time, it leads down to your wrist extensor. And this is really, really helpful if you experience pains or numbness around your thumbs, or you have heard of carpal tunnel syndromes, a lot of laptops clicking. Yeah, you would want to do more of finger extension and wrist extension. So this is one of it. I'm trying with this, and I believe orange is level 2. So I just tried one. In the beginning, it was quite hard for me to actually open all 5, but I've been practicing, and the range gets slightly better. You do it for 10 repetitions, wow, you can really feel like it's numb already. And because I myself don't really train my fingers, and most of us, we don't actually extend our fingers. So this, I believe in Lazada, is about few ringgit. Very, very helpful. Fingers extensor. So that would be my show and tell. Have you tried this before, Noel?
No, I'm just thinking that last week you told us about the toe thing. And this week you're talking about our
fingers.
Yeah. So how
don't ask me about next week. Keep it at that.
Next week Alvin's gonna talk to you about your ears.
Well, it's a surprise, that will be for episode 23. So we have done with our show and tell. Moving back into our question and answer. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them. Do we have anything on Instagram, Noel?
Actually, no one officially submitted a question, but I saw a few things that people posted. Hang on, I'm just gonna go back. To my friends on Instagram, please. The best place to ask a question is the little question mark icon that you see. That way, I can always pull it up and share it with everyone. I know I saw something, Alvin. Give me a couple of seconds.
So those of you on Facebook, the easiest way is to comment your question on Facebook, because being a host with the platform here, we're able to pin your question up.
Great. Yeah. So here's one question that came in earlier. It's very generic. It's always being asked, but I want to address it. So it comes from Adun Sayang Kamu. I hope you're still here. The question is this, Alvin, is how do we lose our fat belly? And the answer to that question really is basically what you're asking is, how do we lose fat? That's really the question, right? And you lose fat with a caloric deficit. You can't choose where you want to lose fat, unfortunately. Although you may see on Instagram, a lot of people will promise I can lose fat here and there, and this program is to lose fat in your legs. This program is to lose fat in your hips. It doesn't work that way. You can't choose where you want to lose the fat. It all boils down to caloric deficit. So the simple answer to your question is caloric deficit. That means you eat less and train more. Okay, what kind of training is up to you? Whatever you enjoy: Zumba, yoga, CrossFit, HIIT, go for a walk, anything. And coupled together with healthy eating, lots of vegetables, enough protein, avoid junk food. I always believe people know what we shouldn't eat and what we should. Stick to it for a couple of weeks, and it's as simple as that.
Right.
If anyone promises you that you can do this and lose fat in the belly, it's you can't. That's just it. Yeah, Alvin, go ahead.
Seeing this question, it reminds me of something. I was having a conversation with my client, and he was telling me that right now there's this viral video. I believe it originated from China, that the girl was leading a group classes, and all they do is just move their hips back and forward. And everyone was following, and then the girl was coaching, oh, you move your hip back, forward, and then you can see the hips moving. I'm like,
I saw that video. It's nice to watch, but if you did that for 24 hours in a day, sure, because you're going to be burning more calories. But there's nothing magic about a workout. The only way you can spot reduce is through surgery. That really is it. So if I want to lose the fat in my left arm, sure, go to an aesthetic clinic and go for surgery. By the way, if you're watching this in Malaysia, in the current lockdown situation, all the aesthetic clinics are open. So you can get a boob job, you can do your chin, you can trim your nose, you can do everything, all allowed, but you can't go to the gym. So yeah, just putting it
fascinating.
Yeah.
Right. And I just want to add on to that, since you mentioned that 24 hours, doing those sort of movements for a long period of time is in fact going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your spine, because you are promoting that exaggerating movements of hip tilt. So you want to be really, really mindful of what you see on YouTube, on Facebook, because not everything that looks fancy, look cool, is actually healthy or effective in the long run. So do take note of that. So great questions. If you have any more questions on Facebook, please keep them coming. I'm just going to hang in there. Instagram got put on hold, is it, Noel?
Yeah, my phone just rebooted, so I don't know what it is, but let's continue what we're doing on Facebook.
Awesome. So our next question here is, we have one that's sent in to us. This is from Aruna Peters. Is it true for a PCOS and osteoarthritis person like me that working out needs to be low impact? I'm gonna have this, Noel.
Yeah, go ahead.
Aruna, it really depends on your past training experience. In fact, if you look at ACSM, which is the American Council of Sport Medicine, states in terms of arthritis, in terms of strength training, you want to lift moderate to heavy weights, because that's going to stimulate bone mineral density. It's going to stimulate your body to actually make you stronger and prevent arthritis. So that is number one. But keep in mind that your training background, training experience is really, really important. So if you have been training for some time, you know your movements, you're familiar with progressive overload, then not necessarily with low impact. I would suggest that where you're at right now in your fitness level or fitness journey, just gradually increase the intensity or training volume, which is slowly doing more, and then see how your body reacts to it. If you have any other injuries, then you might take that into consideration. I would suggest working with a fitness professional to guide you through in terms of what you can or cannot do. But other than that, you need not necessarily be low impact, because oftentimes people think that, oh, I'm old already, so all I do is very low impact thing. I cannot lift heavy weights. If I lift heavy weights, it will break my bones. That is totally untrue. In fact, as you age, you want to lift heavy weights for you, for your fitness level. And you can see a lot of inspirational videos on Facebook or YouTube that 60, 70, they are deadlifting 100 over kilos, they are doing pull-up, push-ups, and yeah. But what you see at the back, they have years of training experience. So you want to build yourself up towards that. Yeah. Anything you want to add to that, Noel?
Yeah, absolutely. And just coming back to what I said just now, where movement can't possibly do you any harm, right? Like Vanita asked just now as well, like if I work out, is it going to affect me? It's going to affect you in a good way. It can't be bad. But of course, you got to take some caution and what kind of workouts you're doing. But typically, what most people do, it's completely safe. Incorporate some movement. Don't do anything fancy, and movement is always going to be good for you. That's what I'll leave it at, Alvin.
I think Ace would say movement is medicine, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Movement is medicine. So everyone should move. In fact, when we are going to the gym, we are actually moving. So one thing that I share with all my clients is that I'm going to teach you how to move. Not I'm going to teach you exercise. There are thousands of exercise, but there are actually only 6 fundamental movements patterns. So if you can understand how your body moves in 6 basic ways, you basically understand the whole exercise. It just involves these 6 things. So once you know how your body moves, you are set for success.
Correct.
Okay, our next question here is nut healthy? Almonds, cashew nuts, are they healthy? I'm going to take this, Noel.
Yep.
Nuts are healthy because they are high in unsaturated fat. Nuts are packed with antioxidant and full of minerals, and they help actually reduce inflammation in our body. However, nuts are calorie dense food. What it means is that a small portion high in calories. For example, 4 walnuts, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 100 calories. I believe cashew nuts and almonds are about 10 cashew nuts, it's about 100 calories. To almond, I believe it's 12 almonds, it's 100 calories. So it's very easy for us to over consume on calories. As Noel shared with us just now, that in order to achieve weight loss, if that is your goal, is to be in calorie deficit. So when we are eating diets that are high in fat, for example, keto diet, or food that are high in fat, for example, nuts, we tend to over consume on calories. Because who eats 4 walnuts? I don't. When I take one after another, sooner or later I realize the whole pack empty, and that itself could be few hundred calories. So nuts are healthy, but you want to be really, really mindful of the portion and quantity.
Great.
Right? Great.
It's so easy to overeat nuts. It comes in a bag. Most people eat the whole bag. Like Alvin said, who eats 4 nuts, right? We eat a whole bunch. But it's a great question. And sometimes we tend to overeat because nuts are healthy. Healthy ma is not 4 pieces of it's not 4 slices of pizza. It's 4 nuts. So I can eat more. But every day it boils down to caloric consumption. So great. Alvin answered it as well. Yeah.
And it's also to look at the food choice in terms of satiety level. Satiety level meaning how filling or how full you are after eating that, compared to nuts, or whereas an apple. 4 walnuts is 100 calories, and apple is also 100 calories. But you know that eating apple got so much volume, there's so much chewing going on. It takes you longer time to devour or digest an apple as compared to 4 walnuts. So it's important for us to weigh that as compared to just seeing any food label, because every food manufacturer is going to say mine is healthy. And that's what we see all around on when we go shopping in groceries or even online. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. So we have answered all of the questions. Is there any last minute questions? I invite you to post them on Facebook. I can pin them up. If not, we're going to move to our closing. Time flies today, Noel.
It does. My Instagram is dead. I can't turn my phone on. I don't know why. It's just this little red bar. So I'm gonna forget about that.
Yeah, because I believe I can see the numbers on Facebook have increased. We have 12 viewers right now, so I believe some of them hop on Facebook from Instagram.
Great.
So
There's
great.
A question here from Vasanti, who's asking fat loss versus weight loss. What's the difference? So let me answer that. I think fat loss means you lose body fat, and that's the best kind of weight to lose. Weight loss means you just lose weight, and people, here's the thing, people just are very obsessed about wanting to lose weight. And sure, it's not a bad thing to lose weight, but when you lose weight, you want to make sure what you lose is fat. So actually, everyone out there who says lose weight should really be saying lose fat, because weight comes from what? Your bones, your muscle, and your fat. You want to lose your bones? No. You want to lose your muscle? No. You want to lose fat. So when you tell someone you need to lose weight, or I want to lose weight to improve my health, what you're really saying is I want to lose my fat. That's really the answer. So the difference between losing weight and losing fat is that losing weight means you might be losing muscle and fat. Not ideal, because the older you get, the more muscle is the most precious commodity for your body. The older you get, the more muscle you need, right? So when you say losing weight, like, okay, I want to lose weight, but I want to keep my muscle and lose my fat. So I hope you see the difference, right? Losing weight is good, but you don't want to lose so much muscle. Now, so let me just go deeper into your question. So Noel, how do I lose fat and not just lose weight? That happens when you strength train. So if you just, for example, if you just run, jog, Zumba every other day, you're going to lose weight and not just fat. That means you're going to lose some muscle, you're going to lose some fat. Why? Because you never gave a reason for your muscles to stay there. So how do you give your muscles a reason to stay there? You strength train, do some squats, use your legs, use your quads, do some deadlifts, do some push-ups, do some rows, lift some weights. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do. Don't need a gym, you can do it at home, but you need to give your muscles a reason to stay there. And running and jogging isn't enough. It's good that you get some movement, but if you want to preserve your muscle, which we all have to as we age, you need to strength train. So when you strength train, you give your muscles a reason to be there. So when your body is like, okay, I'm in a caloric deficit, do I give up my muscle or do I give up my fat? Your body's gonna go like, hey, hang on, wait a minute. He or she is using the muscles, because every day she's doing her push-ups, she's doing her squats, she's doing her lunges. So let's keep the muscle, please. So let's burn the fat. But if you never did any workouts at all, and every day you ran, your body's gonna go like, we can give up some of this muscle. She's not using her back, she's not using her biceps, she's not using her shoulders. So your body decides. So I hope that kind of paints a little picture of how your fat loss works. And that, yes, there is a difference between losing weight and losing fat. Losing weight is nice, but not ideal. Losing fat is the best way to go, because we don't need excess fat. excess muscle is a good thing. No such thing as excess muscle, right? And excess muscle doesn't mean you're going to be a bodybuilder. No, it just means you're going to be strong, and your muscles are going to carry you through to the years in your life. So that's my answer to you, Vasanthi. I hope that answered the question.
I'm just going to add on. I love Noel paint the picture when the muscles talking to the fat and which the body is going to use, because that is reality. So when it comes to weight loss and fat loss, a good way to measure is that, or I would say the most common way to measure is actually using a weight scale. So when we step on a weight scale, you see a reduction of weight, we go, yeah, I lost weight. A better way to measure progress is actually using body measurements like the measuring tape. So you measure, for example, your waist and hips for female. And why is because that's where we accumulate most or high body fat. So when you measure your waist, for example, and then 3 months later, you re-measure your waist and you realize that there's a reduction, perhaps 2 inch, you lost fat. You lost fat regardless if your weight maintained or dropped. If your weight maintained, what that means is that you lost fat and perhaps you gain muscle. So that is a plus point. If you lost inch and you lost weight and the weight it's a little bit, then that's fine. You know that you are losing fat. So using measuring tapes or perhaps progress picture where you take a before and current would show better effectiveness of what you're doing as compared to stepping on scale. So that's the difference between fat loss and weight loss. And Penny says that she loves the explanation, Noel, on how you share about the fat loss and weight loss. Yeah.
It's true, because sometimes we tend to complicate things and we think that it's just, but if you just look at the bigger picture, like, look, I need to give muscles a reason to exist. Stay strong, lift heavy stuff, then your body's going to be around longer. If you don't give your body a reason to exist, because if you sat down and watched TV all day, that is not a reason for your body to exist. Go out, walk, challenge your body, climb a hill, do all these things, and then your body realizes that, oh, hang on, we've got a big job to do. Let's make this happen. That's what we need to do. Yeah.
There's no question, but I just want to add on to, I can see how this topic has shifting, is that what Noel said is very true, where we need to give reason for our body to keep growing. And if you have been lifting for some years and then you reach plateau, this could also relate to you, because we fail, or oftentimes I see clients fail to progressive overload, meaning that you're doing the same thing over and over again. And that could be also lifting weights. So you're doing the same movements, you're lifting the same weights, and you'll be doing that for months, if not for years, and wondering, why do I still look the same? Yeah, maybe some changes, because we need to know that progressive overload is really, really important. So each time when you lift weights or you join classes or you go for your PT session, workout in the gym, you must find ways to do things different. You must find ways to make the movements harder. It could be weights, it could be reps, it could be different variety, changing tools, changing body movements. And I'm sure Noel shared that, like in Daily Muscles, how they really change the experience almost every month. And that's really, really important, because me as a trainer also, I change clients' workout routine very, very often, and making sure that each session, each training, it's getting them stronger. So the goal here is stronger in terms of training. So when you can match training together with nutrition, you are heading for success.